Well, it ain't morning, it's afternoon, y'all. I'm sorry I'm so late getting on here. I got up early. The sun wasn't even up when I got up. I beat the sun up today. I got so much to do, friends. I stay busy. I got my laundry done yesterday, except for the towels. I hadn't got them done yet. I got everything else though, and that was a lot. That duvet that I had washed. It is big and it is heavy and it will flat fill up my washing machine all by itself. I take it usually to the uh, laundromat here in town because they've got the big commercial washers and dryers. They've got two big commercial washers and two big commercial dryers, and then they've got, I don't know, probably 20 of the regular size washers and dryers. I usually take it there, but I didn't want to get out the last couple of weeks, and so I washed it. And my washing machine has a deep wash cycle and a deep rinse cycle, and you can even have a double rinse. And so I did that, and it got it clean. It got it clean. But I knew it's got padding in it, it's got insulation in it, and when I put it in my dryer, it makes that insulation go everywhere except where I want it to go, and then I've got to spend an hour or two beating it and getting it all back in shape again. So I hung it on my clothesline outside, and it was right at freezing when I put it out there. The temperatures got a lot warmer. We're not in the teens anymore, not in the minus numbers anymore. It's been kind of hovering around the freezing mark the last few days. It hung out there all day, and late, probably 9 o'clock last night, I went out there and checked it, and it was still wet. And so I stuffed it into my dryer, and it was kind of like stuffing meat into a sausage casing. But I got it in there, and I turned the dryer on for an hour, and it was still damp after an hour, so I turned it on for another hour, and it was around midnight or so when I went to bed. But I got it dry. The uh, insulation in it is all out of place, but I didn't care. I was so tired, I just spread it out on the bed and went to bed. This morning I took it and hung it back on the clothesline and kind of beat it a little bit with the uh, wood handle of my broom, and it's in pretty good shape now, and it's back on the bed. Got ready to come inside and do my video, and a neighbor needed some help, so I spent 2 hours helping him. Got ready to come inside again, and a different friend here in town needed some help, so I helped her. Came back inside, and then another friend needed some help, and I told her, I said, it's gotta wait. She's from Philippines, and she doesn't know English very good. It's very hard to communicate with her. But I told her I had something I had to do, and I'd be back to help her. Came inside, and Callie, my cat, had thrown up all over something, so I had to clean that up. I haven't got any of my work done today, and so that's that. All that food I cooked yesterday, it wouldn't fit in my Instapot, so I cooked it in the uh, crock pot, and that stuff is good. And I've got enough for an army, but it is good. I'll enjoy that. Well, here I've already spent 5 minutes just flapping my jaws. Let me get busy here, friends. We're picking up in Job chapter 35, and I'm going to share God's holy word with you. I haven't even spent my time with God today. As soon as I got up, I started getting hammered, and so, but God says, whatever you do for others, you're doing unto me. So I hope what I did was unto the Lord, because it sure wasn't unto me. And I'm so far behind now, it's overwhelming. But let me get started here, friends. And I haven't done comments. I'm sorry. I'll do them. I don't know when. And YouTube has got it all messed up now. I'll go down the list and click on the first one I see, respond to that comment, and then on down. And it has everything, all the new videos that are up from places that I have subscribed to, and the comments are mixed in with those. I'll go to the next comment and respond to it, and then the next, and it may be one comment per page, and I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And then when I respond to a comment, then it goes back to the beginning, so I've got to do all that scrolling again. So it's a pain in the butt, but I'll get it done. I don't, that's the only way I know to do it. I think that's the only way there is to do it. So it's a pain in the butt when you get behind like I am, because I've got pages and pages and pages to scroll through. But I'm going to do the best I can, friends. I'm not ignoring you. I do love and I do appreciate every one of you. I really do. Y'all are my family. So I'm going to try to get better. But I've got stuff, when I finish this video, I got stuff I got to get done. And then I'll get to comments. All right, here we go. Job chapter 35. We were reading Elihu's conversation with Job, the previous two chapters, and I was going to try to finish Elihu's conversation yesterday morning, but I didn't finish. He had a lot to say. So here we're going to continue with Elihu talking to Job. And y'all, I got friends like Job had. Oh goodness, they need a big kick in the butt. That's what they need. But Job handled it. God took care of it. Everything turned out good, as you'll see in the next few days. Elihu spake moreover and said, Thinkest thou this to be right, that thou saidst, My righteousness is more than God's? For thou saidst, What advantage will it be unto thee? And what profit shall I have if I be cleansed from my sin? I will answer thee, and thy companions with thee. Look unto the heavens, and see, and behold the clouds which are higher than thou. If thou sinnest, what doest thou against him? Or what dost thou against him? Or if thy transgressions be multiplied, what dost thou unto him? If thou be righteous, what givest thou him? Or what receiveth he of thine hand? Thy wickedness may hurt as a man as thou art, and thy righteousness may profit the Son of Man. Speaking about your righteousness profiting the Son of Man, I don't know why that reminded me of this, but one of my friends here cannot drive because he has involuntary manslaughter on his record. He was drunk and killed somebody for a hard time, because it was a drunk driver that paralyzed me. For a hard time, I had a big problem dealing with people who drink and drive. That is something nobody should ever do. Never. And this guy killed somebody because of his drunk driving. So he can't drive. He doesn't have a driver's license. Well, I think he has a driver's license, but there's restrictions. He has to have a breathalyzer machine in his car that he has to blow in, and it has to be clean before the car will start. But he can't afford to pay the taxes on it. This state has personal property tax you got to pay. The car was given to him. He doesn't have a car payment. The car was given to him. but he can't pay the personal property tax. Therefore, he cannot get license plates for it, cannot register it, and so he's not supposed to drive. But he has disabled that breathalyzer machine that's in it, and he was driving, even though it didn't have current plates on it, even though he had that breathalyzer cut off, he was still driving, and he got caught. And so that cost him even more. And so I've been giving him a ride to work almost every day for 2 or 3 weeks. He has a four-wheeler. People like him can legally drive a four-wheeler, so he was driving it to work. But now it's broke, and I'm driving him to work every day. I told y'all I don't go anywhere hardly personally, to the grocery store and back, and that's basically it. The nearest Walmart is 40 minutes away, and I went there 2 times last year in 2022. Haven't been there this year. Have no plans to go there. Last time I filled up my truck was in April. It's been almost a year. And I still had half a tank of gas left until this guy started needing a ride to work every day. Now it's down to about a quarter of a tank, so he needs to get his four-wheeler fixed. And I may pay to get it fixed so I don't have to keep taking him. But anyway, I got off chasing a rabbit. I don't know what got me there. Let me continue here. Thy wickedness may hurt a man as thou art, and thy righteousness may profit the Son of Man. By reason of the multitude of oppressions, they make the oppressed to cry. Then cry out by reason of the arm of the mighty. But none saith, Where is God, my Maker, who giveth songs in the night, who teacheth us more than the beasts of the earth, and maketh us wiser than the fowls of heaven. There they cry, but none giveth answer, because of the pride of evil men. Surely God will not hear vanity, neither will the Almighty regard it. Although thou sayest thou shalt not see him, yet judgment is before him. Therefore trust thou in him. But now, because it is not so, he hath visited in his anger, yet he knoweth it not in great extremity. Therefore doth Job open his mouth in vain. He multiplieth words without knowledge. Y'all, there's something we need to learn from this. None of us knows the heart of anybody else. We might think we do. All of Job's friends thought they did. It is better to not say anything than to say all the stuff that his friends was saying to him. As Mom and Dad used to tell me when I was a kid, if you hadn't got something good to say about somebody, don't say anything at all. And I believe in that. And that's what Job's friends, and that's what everybody's friends should do. If you can't say something nice and kind about someone, just don't say anything. I'm not saying y'all do that. I don't do it anymore. I used to. Occasionally it would slip up and I would do it, but I don't do it anymore. Now my mind is so scrambled, like a scrambled egg this morning. I keep losing my place here. I apologize. Well, I'm just going to restore it in verse 10. But none saith, Where is God, my Maker, who giveth songs in the night, who teacheth us more than the beasts of the earth, and maketh us wiser than the fowls of heaven? There they cry, but none giveth answer, because of the pride of evil men. Surely God will not hear vanity, neither will the Almighty regard it. Although thou sayest thou shalt not see him, yet judgment is before him. Therefore trust thou in him. But now, because it is not so, he hath visited in his anger, yet he knoweth it not, and great extremity. Therefore doth Job open his mouth in vain, he multiplieth words without knowledge. I had already read all that, but you got it again. Elihu also proceeded and said, Suffer me a little. It's a suffer, all right. And I will show thee that I have yet to speak on God's behalf. So far, he's not speaking on God's behalf. He's speaking on Satan's behalf. I will fetch my knowledge from afar and will ascribe righteousness to my Maker. For truly my word shall not be false. He that is perfect in knowledge is with thee. Behold, God is mighty, and despiseth not any. He is mighty in strength and wisdom. He preserveth not the life of the wicked, but giveth right to the poor. He withdraweth not his eyes from the righteous, but with kings are they on the throne. Yea, he doth establish them forever, and they are exalted. And if they be bound in fetters, and be holden in cords of affliction, then he showeth them their work and their transgressions that they have exceeded. He openeth also their ear to discipline, and commandeth that they return from iniquity. If they obey and serve him, they shall spend their days in prosperity, and their years in pleasure. But if they obey not, they shall perish by the sword, and they shall die without knowledge. But the hypocrites in heart heap up wrath. They cry not when he bindeth them. They die in youth, and their life is among the unclean. He delivereth the poor in his affliction, and openeth their ears in oppression. Even so would he have removed thee out of the strait into a broad place where there is no straightness, and that which should be set on thy table should be full of fatness. But thou hast fulfilled the judgment of the wicked. Judgment and justice take hold on thee. Because there is wrath, because beware lest he take thee away with his stroke. Then a great ransom cannot deliver thee. Will he esteem riches? No, not gold, nor all the forces of strength. Desire not the night when people are cut off in their place. Take heed, regard not iniquity, for this hast thou chosen rather than affliction. This is so not for Job. I don't know who he thought he was talking to, but Job didn't deserve this. I wouldn't talk to anybody that way, not even an enemy. Behold, God exalteth by his power. Who teacheth like him? Who hath enjoined him his way? Or who can say, Thou hast wrought iniquity? Remember that thou magnify his work, which men behold. Every man may see it, man may behold it afar off. Behold, God is great, and we know him not, neither can the number of his years be searched out. Job knew God very well. God even acknowledged that. Job was a very good man. He did everything right according to God's law. For he maketh small the drops of water, they pour down rain according to the vapor thereof, which the clouds do drop and distill upon man abundantly. Also can any understand the spreadings of the clouds, or the noise of his tabernacle? Behold, he spreadeth his light upon it, and covereth the bottom of the sea. For by them judgeth he the people. He giveth meat in abundance. With clouds he covereth the light, and commandeth it not to shine by the cloud that cometh betwixt. The noise thereof showeth concerning it, the cattle also concerning the vapor. At this also my heart trembleth, and is moved out of his place. Hear attentively the noise of his voice, and the sound that goeth out of his mouth. He directeth it under the whole heaven, and his lightning unto the ends of the earth. And after it a voice roareth, he thundereth with the voice of his excellency, and he will not stay them when his voice is heard. God thundereth marvelously with his voice, great things doeth he, which we cannot comprehend. For he saith to the snow, Be thou on the earth, likewise to the small rain, and to the great rain of his strength. He sealeth up the hand of every man, that all men may know his work. Job knows all this. Job knows God better than this man or any of his other friends. These people just didn't know Job, evidently. Then the beasts go into dens and remain in their places. Out of the south cometh the whirlwind, and cold out of the north. But the breath of God frost is given. By the breath of God frost is given, and by the breath of the waters it straightened. Also by watering he wearieth the thick cloud, he scattereth his bright cloud, and it is turned round about by his counsels, that they may do whatsoever he commandeth them upon the face of the world and the earth. He causeth it to come, whether for correction, or for his land, or for mercy. Hearken unto this, O Job, stand still and consider the wondrous works of God. We all need to do that. It's funny, everything God created obeys him except man. How thy garments are warm when he quieteth thee, and earth by the south wind. Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong, and as a molten looking glass? Teach us what we shall say unto him, for we cannot order our speech by reason of darkness. Shall it be told him that I speak? If a man speak, surely he shall be swallowed up. And now men see not the bright light which is in the clouds, but the wind passeth and cleanseth them. Fair weather cometh out of the north, with God is terrible majesty. Touching the Almighty, we cannot find him out. He is excellent in power and in judgment and in plenty of justice. He will not afflict. Man do, therefore, he will not afflict. He afflicted me. He afflicted Paul. He afflicts people. I think this guy, Elihu, didn't know what he's talking about in a lot of this. Men do therefore fear him. He respecteth not that any are wise of heart. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, Who is this that darketh counsel by words without knowledge? Bam! God nailed it right there. The Lord said, Who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? Gird up now thy loins like a man. This is God talking to Job. For I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. Where wast thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare, if thou hast understanding. Who hath laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest? Or who hath stretched the line upon it? whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened? Or who laid the cornerstone thereof? When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouting for joy? Or who shut up the sea with doors, when it brake forth as if it had issued out of the womb? When I made the cloud the garment thereof, and thick darkness a swaddling band for it, and brake up for it my decreed place, and set bars and doors, and said, Hitherto shalt thou come, but no further, and here shall thy proud waves stay. I told you all that several days ago. God is in control of everything, including things like the clouds and the waves. He tells the waters of the oceans to come this far, but no further. Everything God created obeys him except mankind. Hast thou commanded the morning since thy days, and caused the day spring to know his place, that it might take hold of the ends of the earth, that the wicked might be shaken out of it? It is turned as clay to the seal, and they stand as a garment. And from the wicked their light is withholden, and the high arm shall be broken. Hast thou entered into the springs of the sea, or hast thou walked in a search of the depth? Have the gates of death been opened unto thee, or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death? Hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth? Declare, if thou knowest it all. Where is the way where light dwelleth? And as for darkness, where is the place thereof? That thou shouldest take it to the bound thereof, and that thou shouldest know the paths to the house thereof. Knowest thou it because thou wast then born, or because the number of thy days is great? Hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow, or hast thou seen the treasures of the hail? Have I which I have reserved against the time of trouble, against the day of battle and war? By what way is the light parted which scattereth the east wind upon the earth? Who hath divided a watercourse for the overflowing of waters, or a way for the lightning of thunder, to cause it to rain on the earth where no man is, on the wilderness wherein there is no man, to satisfy the desolate and waste ground, and to cause the bud of the tender herb to spring forth? Hath the rain a father, or who hath begotten the drops of dew, out of whose womb came the ice, and the hoary frost of heaven? Who hath gendered it? The waters are hid as with a stone, and the face of the deep is frozen. Canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion? Canst thou break forth Mazzaroth in his season, or canst thou guide Arcturus with his sons? Knowest thou the ordinances of heaven? Canst thou set the dominion thereof in the earth? Canst thou lift up thy voice to the clouds, that abundance of waters may cover thee? Canst thou send lightnings, that they may go and say unto thee, Here we are? Who hath put wisdom in the inward parts? Or who hath given understanding to the heart? Who can number the clouds in wisdom? Or who can stay the bottles in heaven? When the dust groweth into darkness, and the clods cleave fast together, wilt thou wilt thou hunt the prey for the lion, or fill the appetite of the young lions? When they couch in their dens, and abide in the covert to lie in wait, who provideth for the raven his food. When his young ones cry unto God, they wander for lack of meat. And y'all, I'm going to stop there. I just finished chapter 38. I had planned to do more, but I did so much rabbit chasing, and my sinuses are draining, my voice is crackling and getting all messed up. So I'm stopping here. I may come back and read more from Job after a while when I get rested a little bit and feel like I can talk better. I love you, my dear friends. I really do. And I appreciate all of you. I thank God for y'all. Talk to y'all later.